Any of this? That's beauty left today. I said, okay. And well, I was talking. Nobody says it. Oh, gosh. Right. Please, please. All that.
Sir, you need it.
Or just.
It's 9 o'clock, let's call the Blanco County Commissioners Board to order. This Tuesday, September the 17th, 2024, and it's called to call the roll.
Yeah.
Here. 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 Join me in the pledge of allegiance. I will pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
Please remain standing for the invocation. Ms. Harris.
Your unfailing love is as vast as the heavens. Your faithfulness rises beyond the clouds. We are so thankful to walk this life with you in our spouse. Father, today we pray that we are in the moment. Help us to keep our eyes open so we don't hurt us. Father, we pray that we are safe. We pray that we are healthy. We thank you that we are free. In your son Jesus' name, amen.
Have we lost our podium?
I'm not sure.
Public comment, Mr. Kenneth Welch. Good morning. Thank you for placing item number 6 on today. I've been concerned about the structural integrity of the courthouse roof and people since fall 2021. At this point in time, I believe that you are taking action to ensure the necessary structural modification is addressed. The courthouse is the center of our county government, symbol of Blanco County's history. I believe it's essential that it be maintained with standard reflecting its importance. Providing the public with an update today, I hope you will answer or give your best estimates to the following questions. Has work begun on the shoring project to stabilize the roof, people the structure? When do you expect the shoring to be completed? What is the expected cost of insurance? When the plans will be over the courthouse and for the court. When stabilized, we will structural repairs phase two be put out competitive bids. Is the commission fully committed to making structural repair with this budget year? And the architect provided the county with an estimated cost of structural repairs. If so, current budgeted funds for both shipwreck and structural repairs. Is there an estimated duration for completion of the structural repairs? 1 year, et cetera. Since the county has now completed several projects expanding on the original having reasonable new price in the city, with the county once again considering full restoration of the courthouse with financial assistance from the Texas Historical Commission. Thank you for providing an update today. Here's your. Here's item 1 on the agenda is consideration of the October 22 minutes.
Make a motion, we dispense with reading of minutes and accept them as presented.
All in favor, say
No.
carries. Payroll.
Make a motion to approve the estimated November 2024 payroll in the amount of $588,114.14.
Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion. All in favor, say aye. Opposed. Motion carried. Item 3, official reports are all evening subject to your inspection.
I move that we approve the official reports as presented.
Is there a second? Second. Mr. Riley, discussion. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, motion carries. Item 4, line item transfers. So we got.
I'll make
Go ahead.
a motion to ratify the outstanding bills in the amount of $76,147.03 and approve the outstanding bills in the amount of $951,138.07.
Is there a second? Second. Discussion. All in favor, say aye. All opposed. Motion carries. Item 6, cupola update. I asked Ryan to put this on here a while back. Because I think when we discuss it, violating the law, there's a bigger than 2. So, plus there have been some information that's come along since the last time we talked. And you might want to engage in the conversation based on the questions that were posed a few minutes ago by a member of the public, but the answer to one is pretty simple. We approved the quote structure at right at $155,000. The original was $135,000, $20,000 cushion if you run nuts. And so that is the price. And as for when it's going to be done, the latest information, Ms. Fry and Ms. Harrison and I met with the architect and the contractor and the subcontractor last Thursday. Wednesday. And the idea was to start the first thing this week. I believe they have started because I walked by the sidewalk constable a few minutes ago. Large pieces of the beam are being assembled to be put in. And when I say beam, it's beams, and these are not the final beams. These are they're pretty good size, big channel iron things, but these are not the final ones. These are just the ones to stabilize the structure and possibly actually raise it up a little bit. They know our timeline, and they are how to put this, they are intent on being done before Thanksgiving Day, my spectacular celebration starts. the very intention of being completed with the structural stabilization. So that's what, 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. I- They, I said they have every intent. You never know, I guess, so we'll see. The rest of it is different. Amber and I were talking, and Connie and I were talking with, Mr. Klein, our architect. And he, threw out a number that is for the next phase 2, that is larger than we have actually budgeted for in just the 2 line items that we budgeted for, cupola repairs. I'm not certain, first of all, that's just his ballpark, it's not even bid, and second of all, that wouldn't be all of the possible available funds that we could probably list up if we need to find a little extra to complete the project. The final beam project part of it probably isn't the most expensive part. It's the complete restoration of the cupola, which has never been done. Back in '97, they sort of patched, painted, but it needs to be. It's 110, 15 years old, and it needs, and it's been subject to some pretty severe weather, and it needs a lot of work all the way up to the very tip top as well. Plan is to do all that without taking it off. People talk about we take it off, but they plan to do it right there. I don't know how they're going to get up on that old top spiral, but they'll figure it out. And the bid that we're looking to receive will be for the final beam replacement, final structural improvements, and replacement of the ceiling tiles, putting the courtroom back like it was. Item 2 will be the actual cupola for total restoration, and item 3 will be a total roof replacement. As you know, the roof replacement is already on schedule in essence, because we received some insurance proceeds from storm damage back as far back as the hailstorms back in my spring years. So we have funding set aside for that to put into this project. The commissioner's court and the county attorney's office has signed off that for continuity's sake, because it's a public safety issue, and also because it's a preservation of the courthouse proper, the county property issue, that we can continue on the same contractor, Stoddard, through past the stabilization, through the beams and through the final beams, replacement or putting back of everything, and even the cupola for that, because it's part of it. The roof replacement goes away. We can bid it out, or we can continue with Stoddard. And by the way, we'll bid it out. Stoddard, they will do the standard process of taking bids and pick one to finish the roof, and it can be done in concert with the actual cupola repairs, which makes sense to me because cupola is in a way part of the roof. The numbers won't come in for some time, and I objected and was a little shocked when Mr. Klein said it would take weeks, and Ms. Fry, who has a lot of construction experience, as to some of you all, so you already know this. I heard that her point is you want to take longer to get the numbers than shorter. I want to get it done, but to her point, if you tell somebody, I want you to fix the cupola, and I want you to fix those final beams in right here now, they're going to put out whatever kind of number they need to cover themselves to make sure that they can do the project. If you give them time, you're shaking your head because you know all this, but if you give them time to pencil it in and examine it and get a good number on each part of it, You one, get a more definite number, and two, you probably get a cheaper number. So, I don't, and Stan's estimating that take as much as, maybe all the way, maybe through December to get actual quotes, which really won't matter so much for us because we're not gonna be in construction mode until after Lights Spectacular anyway, which is through December. In my mind, I'm imagining that we'll get some quotes at the end of December and first meeting in January, possibly the second meeting in January. There will be something presented to you to consider moving forward with phase two and whatever that's gonna look like. It's just gonna be the beam, we're gonna do the cupola, we're gonna do the cupola and the roof and the beam. And you'll know what kind of numbers you're staring at that point. That is the plan at the moment. Thoughts, questions? What am I leaving out? The one thing that, I think the three of us believe that, but what really matters is what the four of you believe, is that we should not, Stan was offering a lesser option. Where we sort of put Band-Aids on the cupola that would make it okay, as opposed to a complete restoration and placement repair of some of those railings that are really kind of dangerous, frankly. They're up there. And so, because it's a lot more expensive to do a complete repair. But anyway, we all felt like that would be the better way to go, but of course, we didn't have the numbers to look at either, so. Anything?
Did he give you any time frame of, once construction was to start, how long does he think that would take?
I think they gave us an actual day, Ronnie. Debbie Downer is just thinking it will, that we won't be able to get back in until June. And that is something to bring. So, no, I don't have a good answer to your question, but I think I'm more optimistic. I'm assuming April, maybe. I don't think the beam part is going to be so much as the cupola part. Taking some time. Anyway, what I was going to say is, so technically, when they finish on Thanksgiving Day with the phase one stabilization, we can move back in. And then we want to move back out in January, or whenever we can actually begin, because they're actually going to cut the power to the it's a whole other issue. So, some other things that have to be done. We can move back in, but it's pretty short term, actually. So I don't know if it's a good idea or not. And each office, I guess, can, the district clerk, the treasurer, those kinds of offices can make that decision what they want to do. But eventually, there's going to have to be a move out again if we're going to get forward. And actually probably cutting the power by moving the servers and by having people roaming around doing various different jobs in this. We're probably going to need to do less of what we do now, which is if we need paper, we need something that we can behind, we can getting it. We probably won't be able to do that. It's deep into the construction.
So I misunderstand you when you said we back in, but after this and then have to move out again.
So
Wouldn't it be a lot more convenient just to keep everybody where they are? I know it's a burden on everybody working out of a different office. But instead of all that's moving, I'm using paper.
Don't disagree with you.
That's my opinion.
The thing is, it's easy for me to say that. I mean, I have offices, other people have offices. Kathy, who's not here today, is working on card table.
Yeah, I understand. There's an inconvenience, but this Cooper is something that's gonna have to.
Our auditor is working on the card table in a corner of another office.
Yeah.
So it's just, it's different on different people.
Understand that.
Which brings me to something what I actually wanted to mention.
Sticky on.
And, well,
Anyway, it's because of what I just mentioned about the auditor and the treasurer and the assistant, it made me think about possibly thinking about one of those mobile office trailers for them. Everybody else seems pretty well situated, but they're a little cramped. And even the investigator for the county, well, actually, the county attorney's office isn't so situated. Dell is, but we've got Ben sitting in the middle of the county clerk's office, and they have two lawyers that are looking at laptops in their cars. But so I thought about an office trailer. Visited with Swift on it. She's okay, and she doesn't think the others are not okay. So it's, there's no great desire for it. I just thought it was something that you all might want to be thinking about. So if we're going to go into the spring and still look like we look right now, people scattered all over. You all may have better information. My understanding is that an office trailer of 40 to 60 foot length, two or three offices, and it's kind of 500 a month, maybe 600 a month on a short-term rental basis. So it's not undoable if we want to do it. It's I'm okay with the way people get. I just hate seeing them working on projects. But it's not on, it's only on the agenda today. Overall item, people, and this would just be an offshoot of that. If y'all are interested in that, I guess you can mention it. Start digging around further and seeing if we put it on an agenda for actual action. But for right now, I just wanted to bring it up to you so you had it in your minds.
How many employees do we have displaced at the present time?
I've got 11 in my head.
I'm at 12.
What you want to count the emergency?
No, I'm not even counting that. I didn't think that.
Emergency management, 13.
Quite a few.
Quite a few, yes.
Would you ask them individually whether or not they would rather be in an outside office, another office, or can they stay where they are in the long term of this, what, through May?
And I think the JP's office is, I don't particularly like the way it looks, but I think it's running fine where it is. It can stay where it is. I think this city. I think the district clerk's office is doing amazing, and they seem okay. I mean, I wouldn't have thought it. It's just a conference room that they've pushed everybody into operate, but they're operating just fine. They seem happy. So no, I wouldn't ask them if they're We're fine, we are.
Would that be the shortest route, is to stay where you are and try to get this thing done by May or so?
It is, I only, like I say, we don't really have too much, the attorneys are definitely rotating a lot.
Yeah.
And so that's an issue, and I don't like the visual of Kathy and Shelley, the way they're office, but if they don't care, well, why should I care?
The people I'd be asking them if they're okay with it.
Stay.
Because we've been like this for months now already.
Septic inspector. And that's a big office. Actually, there was a time in Connie, I thought we would share it for two. He has so much stuff. Sign, sheets, it's that the other taking it up, so. It is what it's. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Well, so you can be thinking about it, if you have ideas. Put it on an agenda, something else, or if you want to just explore more, please let us know. Anything else on the people itself? So, yeah, and so if we did put it back in, whatever period of time it is before we get engaged in phase two, the offices, well, we have to move everything back into Ken's office and Adele's office. And they're number one, and number two, the courtroom is probably not very usable because the pews are all shoved off the side. There's a stack of pink insulation about the size of the rose light. And there'll be these big scaffolds. Yeah. So it's not entirely unusual, but it's not very practical. Item 7 is one is not your issue. Item 7 is I asked to put this on so that just so you'd be aware of it. You know, good budgeting, $15,000-$20,000 for each air conditioner over at the LEC, and the idea being there's what 10 or 11 placing one or two gradually because they're all pretty old at this point. Unfortunately, economics has changed. It's kind of like sticker nowadays. It's a and they're up around $30,000 or $35,000 to replace one. But the reason this item is on here today is to let you know that we'll probably exceed the budget on that line item. In maintenance because we had to purchase a unit that cools the server over there. Basically, actually, that's not true. It's the server room. It's the notifications room. It's that room you get the water shop. Everything electronic. Right. And it's totally vital. It has to be kept cool. And that particular air conditioner, because it's got some other features like we can find it's about $55,000 to $60,000. So, and that's after going up for bids all over the place. So we're doing it, but I want you to be aware of it because having to spend a whole lot on that particular air conditioning that is necessary. A surplus property, the PTC camera that was over here.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's the one here attached to this, or to the other, but next door to, for this meeting.
It's on the other.
Yeah.
Face that.
Bit the dust and surplus it so we can get
To declare PTC camera a surplus property.
Is there a second? Second. Commissioner, for discussion? All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carries item. It's that time of year again to us in the annual cybersecurity training.
I make a motion to authorize the county judge, general elected officials and employees in the TAC annual cybersecurity training course for 24-25.
Is there a second?
Second.
Right, discussion. We can separate. We, in tax size, we did agree with by getting your the time.
Yes, sir.
That's it. But they always comment on it too. And actually, while the training seems silly, frankly, there is kind of elementary, but it actually, I think it actually works. It subconsciously makes you think about things and look at addresses and be more careful about what's coming in. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, motion carries. Holiday schedule, move next. We have a motion to, so, close holidays. Is there a second?
Second.
Commissioner, we were discussed. Usually, it's at this moment when somebody says, well, there's a conflict. It's pretty straightforward. And we still have the one clothing and a holiday according to the item at the bottom.
Is now the time to designate that day? Is now the time to designate that floating off?
What?
So you can throw it into the.
System.
Birthday. Yeah, okay.
Celebrate your birthday.
There you go.
Motion's made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed. Calendar for new subdivision application drop off.
I'll make a motion to accept those 2025 drop-off calendar for the new subdivision applications.
Is there a second? Riley, discussion. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, motion carries. Item 12.
Motion we approve the spec for the three Motorola APX 6000 handheld radios as outlined in the capital equipment section. Here.
Is there a second? Second. Discussion. Keith Wiggins. So this item, and then the next item is about vehicle radios. You know what? I'll wait till the next item. Okay. All in favor, say aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Item 13.
I move to approve the specs and purchase Motorola APX 65 vehicle radios as outlined in the capital equipment section. Budget and counter.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Discussion. So this item and the next one are about the radios that are going to the vehicles, and the next one is do we still today have three, or I'm gonna say three, because I don't know correctly, 3 vehicles from last year's order that are not here yet? Yes. Okay. And do we have 3 radios sitting on a shelf somewhere waiting for them? Yes. So my question is, why do we want to go buy radios right now for vehicles that we're not optimistic? This is another 3 vehicles. We haven't got the last 3. And radios get outdated, or they get updated, or they get new and improved. So I'm just wondering why we want to buy them and put them on the shelf, right?
Great.
We'll raise the price again. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, motion carries. Next item over there.
I'm going to approve second purchase of 3 vehicles. Equipment as outlined. Double equipment second. 5, budget and contract.
Is there a second?
Second.
Sure, discussion. All in favor, say aye. All opposed. Motion carries. Fence and gate operation for the LC. If Eric is here, if you want, the chief, if you want to ask questions about it. This is the secured lot at the LC. Yes? Yes. We need a fence and a gate operator.
I make a motion to approve the specs of the proposal from Anchor Group for a galvanized chain link fence and slide gate operator for the upper parking lot at the LEC.
Is there a second? Second. Commissioner Riley, discussion. All in favor, say aye. All opposed. Motion carries. Item 16. Tasers. 10 of them. No, excuse me, 7 of them.
Second purchase of 7 Taser 10s as outlined in the sheriff's office section of the fiscal year 2025 budget.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Commissioner Eager. Discussion. 7 of them for. Okay, are these the yellow? And it's the whole unit,
Seven, yes.
and you have how many employees coming on? I'm just trying to figure out why we're replacing some. They get old and outdated. I know we replaced cartridges. You're talking about the whole unit.
They didn't like, so. And it's great, fine. Right, we can't get it. Perfect.
What's the average shelf life of?
Well, there's, so. We have. I have regeneration goal, we're saying over 2 platforms that they've already updated twice. So, hoping this is nice.
Years.
I bet you it's years.
But that's the reason you're only asking for 7 is because you have some that are different.
Basically, old items is some last year.
Okay. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, motion carries. Item 17. Sonic body camera master agreement. We just wanted to add conflicts, isn't it?
Authorize county judge to accept and sign the 13th Amendment to the Master Services Purchasing Agreement and approve specs and purchase of 3 Axon body cameras as outlined in the Sheriff's Department office section of the FY 24-25 budget.
Second.
Second.
Mr. Riley, discussion.
No.
If you're not mistaken, it's not for constable, it's for sheriffs.
Yeah, but it was either me or Emil, one of us, not him.
Good. Commissioner Luther, seconds. Further discussion. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed. Motion carries. Item 8-15. Sustainable Security Solutions.
Opposed to authorize county judge to accept and sign the sustainable security solution proposal as outlined in the LEC maintenance section of the fiscal year 2025 budget.
Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries. This next item, I put on the agenda. Supporting. Yeah. How short of that should we wait and come back to it, or?
No, I was,
Okay, well, let me, then you're gonna have to help me through this one, what they say, to frame this, because I put this on here without asking, without knowing about it, but I'm thinking we're on the same page on this. We process and an application fee, and it's in detailed in the subdivision regulations, I think. I think it's about $345. We choose install a septic system, residential. And so what happens is you come in, you pay your money, buy your application, go. Stop me when I get this wrong, that's who all actually out there in the precincts and the logo. You build your system, you notify the inspector that your system's ready, inspector inspects it, and says you're good to go. And last step is a license, and it's statutory, and it's required, and the inspector signs off on the license. Now, after that, what's supposed to happen is the license is supposed to be on file with the county clerk's office. And that could be 2 pages, or it could be 32 pages. No telling, it depends on the engineer, depends on the design, depends on a lot of things. And we want these filed in the county clerk's office because we want people to be able to access these documents. So that when they buy your house, they can look online and see exactly what the septic system is and exactly what it's generally looks like. However, they're not getting, these licenses aren't getting to the clerk's office necessarily uniformly. And this causes some problems because the clerk is required by the statute to charge a certain amount of money, but it's per page. So you can't tell the inspector collect this up front for the license because we don't know what the license is going to cost yet. That's just per page. So what needs to happen is it needs to, the person needs to come to the county clerk's office to pick up their license and pay for it when they do. I think one of the problems is if I have paid you $325, I've built my system, you come out and said I'm good to go. I really don't care if I get another piece of paper, license or not. And I may not want to be bothered to come to the clerk's office, and I may not want to pay extra money. So there's a sticky part there. And so I was looking to have the process and the filings and the fees detailed and set out more clearly by the Commissioner's Court and adopted by the Commissioner's Court so that the employees follow the process as the Commissioner's Court intends for it to work. You should be sitting on applications or licenses. Once, if I execute a license, I should walk across the street to the clerk's office and I should notify them that they need to come get their license. There may be an active part here because if people are like me and blow it off at the end and don't want to do it, maybe the clerk should be able to go to the constables and say, I've got people that haven't paid for their license, picked up their license and paid for it. I don't know, somebody needs to follow up on it. You want to add on, take away from any of that?
well, yeah, the hard part is we're getting to the app. Say, okay, it's fine, but I think we're at a schedule. How much it costs for the first page, addition page. So we can work with curves, and you can be charging speeds. I don't know the easiest ways. Another alternative is that Laura's gonna email it to Jack. And that was another her routine.
Of course, there are 3 of her and 1 from. So, can Kermit always done in the pages? I thought some of that was not able to be done by him.
I don't know how that process works. I mean, the recording fees would be standard per page. He would have them in his office and he input it, but some applications I give are 2 pages and some are 32 pages. So, it's going to be different with every application.
When he signs the license, that's page. And under it is the application. And that's all the pages. And so on the day he signs the license, he could count pages. Right?
Yes.
And if he has the schedule that Kim is talking about, he would then want to tell them they have.
The only thing that maybe add in the middle of that is pictures. There may be a couple of pages of.
That is part of the application that gets filed.
Yes, the drawings are included.
So somebody drops off a 5-page application and then and they have another 2 or 3 pages of pictures. More or less.
That he takes. They didn't drop them off and they don't necessarily know that there's added pages of pictures because he took them. Oh.
Nice. He's added to the application.
So the reason this is on the agenda for me is because we estimate we're losing as much as $20,000 a year in filing fees. And that's not acceptable.
Well, Judge, can't you do a cost average and set the fee at a certain rate? And do a cost average from 32 to 1 page, whatever. Oh, it's a law. Okay. Another thing, don't other counties require that whenever a property is sold, it's got a house on it? Some counties have to have proof of that permit attached to the closing papers. Where a person can't sell their property unless it's permitted.
Right, but that's that could be 10, 20 years after the fact.
Yeah, it could, but it makes it's an incentive to have that permit.
So
But the county's gonna get it somewhere.
getting it somewhere doesn't solve the revenue stream that we're supposed to be collecting up front.
I do understand that.
Laura, are you thinking these files?
Well, they're not e-filed and they would just. Because they would have to have the money. Like, right now, I've just been doing 100% discount on all those that come in, so they would have to be brought physically into the office.
Are you paying me to get the image and to get?
Yes.
So we're.
What else do you say, Diamond, also?
So. What do you, there's nothing here, so even though it says discussion and action, we'd like to solve it there. I'm not exactly sure what we have in the works.
So. You see. Is gonna be that has to be scheduled. And if he likes that in the evening, likes the application. Because he's gonna have all the pages there, it's the application. And he bring it to the group.
And Ms. Harrison, we think we need the commissioners court to adopt that because it's not happening voluntarily or just,
That is correct.
it needs to be an official commissioner court directive.
And the inspector reflects the final and the state. Per the statute, schedule, if possible.
So that would be someone's motion.
However, the point that Connie made earlier was in reference to if there's pictures taken during the process of the installation, those are going to be added to the application, which will increase the fee at that time. So
You're not, I think that possibly the disconnect is you're not suggesting that he knows that he figures out in advance what the fee is for the license. That happens at the end, he signs the license and he has all the pages to count.
Giving the fee for the application further than and it's licensed. That's in it. But it actually is consistent. So then the application. Then do, I think but when it paid it, they finished their septic system. I know what the church says that we have either 7 or 10 days to issue the license card. If you can notify them via email, phone, please let them know that it's ready, that they can pick it up and the clerk's office. Fees are paid. Notify them that it's ready to be, it's done, but he says until the final fees are paid.
and I guess my question is all of that spelled out in the subdivision rules and regulations?
And so taken subdivision refer to the septic rules. It is not actually laid out in the.
We have independent rules.
So we have independent rules on septic rules.
Don't you have phases in the installation too, where you come in and get your permit before you start anything? Then you either have a person, it's part of the design when you get your permit. Then you dig the thing, install it. While it's still open, you have it inspected again with pictures attached. So there's kind of 2 or 3 visits there. Before you,
That's what the $325.
for that final visit.
No.
Okay, covers everything, including any pictures that are made at the final, all of that.
Except for the filing.
So make it. Septic.
So I think.
I guess they would. So.
So I think the court may be struggling with authorizing me to sign this order that's a little bit ambiguous or being or still under discussion. I'm thinking that we consider this a productive discussion. Maybe we come back at the next meeting. Changes to the septic rules, septic tank, septic system rules, and propose those for the court to approve and adopt.
System that will work correctly.
Okay. But you. We want to be fair and one system that will work for everybody, but I am not comfortable with the way it's working right now. Okay.
Oh. We're looking to purchase a John Deere 324P tier compact wheel loader to share between the two precincts, precinct 4 and precinct 1. So I have the specs here and we have discussed it in our budget. So I would like to make a motion to approve this of a John Deere 324P tier compact wheel loader as outlined in the capital equipment section of the FY 24-25 budget.
There a second? Second. Mr. Riley, discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 24, Mr. Leeson, additional materials.
Yes, so these are two vendors that was in an email box that didn't get put into the last time's packet. So I'd just like to add these two vendors to our list of vendors for material bids for the 24-25 season. And the vendors are Johnson City's Fresh Stone and Rhino Hot Mix LLC.
There a second? Second. Commissioner Eager. So this does is add to your stable of material providers.
Right.
And it might depend on where you are in the county.
Yes, and the availability of the material that you're needing at that point in time.
So this gives you the other flexibility.
Correct. That's sure.
Discussion. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. 22, rental agreement for a man.
So, this rental agreement is for a man to install the lights, I think around the courthouse, on the county side of things. And talking with the county attorney, there's a couple of things in here that she does not care for, which is typical for rental companies, we could say. One of them being insurance, that as long as you pay your insurance on the deal, you don't have to add them as an additional insured from the county's perspective. And then there was another one that came off the top of it. Right. So anyway, but I would like, talking with her, she's fine with everything. I would like to make a motion to approve, the United rental agreement for the man lift install the Christmas lights, with those two, deals that she will address.
Is there a second? Second. Which one of you was that? Me. Commissioner Eager, discussion. So it's not cheap.
No, sir.
We don't have anything like it.
No, sir.
The local rental company here in Blackfoot County doesn't.
No, sir.
And so my question really is this something, when we put these lights up, do we have to take them back down?
Yes, sir.
So this is an annual thing.
This is an annual thing, and there is a little bit of, I haven't talked to anybody about it, but there might be some talks in the future about maybe a purchase of some piece of equipment like this, for tree trimming and other things to that nature throughout the precinct. What I did is I reached out to our maintenance department and tried to get them to get everything that they possibly can get, that they need to get done that's at a high elevation, that we can get all of it done while we have this rented. So we'll not only be hanging Christmas lights, but we'll be fixing lights and doing bird prevention and a little bit of everything.
Costing us this. Small flat. Small building.
No, not necessarily that. We're utilizing it on this facility as well.
Getting this thing makes me sympathetic. Talks about how much it costs them to have these lights in the building. Right. It's not a cheap proposition anymore. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, carries out of 23 track loader.
So this is a track loader for there as well. And that'll make First person, I'm here, meeting, I'm there, credit loader, so. Second,
Second.
Commissioner Leeson, discussions? All in favor, say aye. All opposed. Motion carries. So you notice on the burn ban that our neighbors to the east. Making theirs off. Took ours off. But they're having. Whichever day, I took it off, the latter part of last week when the rains were coming and there was moisture. You see, quite a bit of feedback, negative feedback for having done that. Kendall and some of the others have also taken their burn bans off. With the other map, you can see that while we're in the 500 range, 500, 600 range, the Westby is already in the 600, 700 range. I guess whatever's over there usually heads this way. So when I took the burn ban off, I did so thinking, with the advice and consent of the fire marshal and the fire chiefs who said they're burning anyway because it's raining. And also there was a lot more moisture, I guess, in South County than in County. I did it with the comfort of knowing that we were going to meet on Tuesday and we could put it right back on. So, and it is drying up again, and the other patterns that I see show the moisture. So I certainly wouldn't want you to misinterpret what I did last week with not being in support of the burn ban, if that's what you all do. So
I'll make a motion to, put the bird ban back on till the 10th of December at 12 noon. That is a commissioner's court day, second key. 10th. Let me look at it again. Second.
Mr. Riley seconds. Discussion.
I'm glad you put it on, Judge, for the short period that you did. I noticed some people in my precinct got a lot done over the few days, but I'm ready to, I think we need to put it back on with the winds that are picking up and it's pretty dry outside. So I'm all for it for that short period of time.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item 25.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second,
I'll say.
Commissioner Weir, discussion, all in favor, say aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Hey,